The fourth principle that we need to know is that person who trusts in Hashem at the same time must be vigilant and make a great effort to do the mitzvot that Hashem commanded us in and to avoid that which He prohibited for us, right? A person sometimes can, has shalom, use bitachon as yetzara. How can a person use bitachon as yetzara? Because the yetzara tells him, no, don't push yourself. If Hashem wants you to have it, you'll have it. And then he pushes you to be lazy, right? He says, if Hashem really wants me to do the mitzvah, it's going to come to me right here. I'm not going to do anything. I don't have to push myself. And really, you don't have that zechut. And really, Hashem wants you to push yourself to go a little bit out of your way to do ishtalut. And therefore, you're doing the wrong thing by saying that, why should I push myself? If Hashem wants it, it's like people who say, there's also a mistake in bitachon. What's the mistake in bitachon? They say, don't worry, he smokes. Don't worry, if I'm supposed to lift 100, I lift 100, even if I smoke. It is what it is. I have emunah in Hashem. So a person has to know that the emunah doesn't work like that. You don't. First of all, you don't rely on a miracle. And number two, that who says you have the zechut? Who says your emunah is real? That you have deserved that zechut that you should lift 100. Maybe your emunah is false emunah, and it's just the Yetzer Hara telling you to be lazy and not to work on yourself. So a person. That's why this principle is saying that a person has bitachon in Hashem. At the same time, he has to be vigilant and put a great effort to fulfill the mitzvot and to avoid doing what's prohibited. Smoking, everybody agrees, is dangerous to your health, and they say it's a sword to start smoking. Just like he would want the Creator to agree with him, respect the matters that relies on him, he can rely on Hashem to have his best interests in mind only if you reciprocate by doing and having Hashem's best interests in mind, right? It's a two-way street. When you do what you're supposed to do and you do the ishtadu you're supposed to do, that's when the rest of the way you just rely on bitachon. I did my best. I did my ishtadlut. Now I rely on my bitachon. But a person who says, I rely on bitachon and therefore I do zero ishtadlut, no, not everybody. The Gemara says not everybody was zochet to be like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that the water and the carob came to him, that the food came to him. Most people had to do like Rabbi Shmuel and go to the field and work, and then they were able to have parnasat tova. Who are you to assume that your bitachon is so high that everything will come to you without you lifting a finger? You have to be a level of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. But if you don't, if you're not on that level and you think like that, so then it's Yetzer Hara just tricking you to be lazy, and that way you'll fail in the mitzvot chas v'shalom. So therefore a person has to be careful to try to do as much ishtadut as he can for his level of bitachon. Like the sages say, do Hashem's will as if it's your will. That way Hashem will do your will as if it is His will. So for you see, you have to have Hashem's best interest in mind for Hashem to have your best interest in mind. And this is the even bigger, nullify your will for His will, so that way He will nullify the will of others for your will. Right? A person wants to be successful and conquer his competition and to be better than his enemies, and he wants everybody to, do what he says. So you have to nullify your will to Hashem's will. That way Hashem will nullify their will when it comes to against your will. You want to win that basketball game, right? You want to overcome the will of the other team. You have to make sure that you do the will of Hashem, and that way Hashem will undo their will. So you have to have zechut. So therefore, that's what the Bechova was saying. V'amar katuv batach b'Hashem v'aseh tov shchen me'eretz ur'a emunah. As the pasuk Tehillim chapter 37 says, trust in Hashem, do good, dwell in the land, and nourish yourself with faith. You can only trust in Hashem on condition that you do good. You can't just trust in Hashem, do nothing. You have to trust in Hashem and do good. V'amar tov Hashem kovav l'nefesh yidrashenu. Hashem is good to those who hope in Him, to the soul that seeks Him. So you got to seek Hashem. It's not enough to just, bitachon, so that's it, just bitachon. No, you have to seek Him. You have to do good. Someone who trusts in Hashem while he's rebelling against Him, what does he do? He does averot. He doesn't do ishtadlut. He's lazy, and he says, "No, bitachon on Hashem." Why? Don't worry. If as long as you love Hashem and you trust in Hashem. Yeah, I don't go pray. Yeah, I don't do honest business. Yeah, I don't guard my, myself from doing sins. As long as you love Hashem in your heart and I have bitachon in Him, sure, everything's okay. What does he say? He's don't do mitzvot. Just say Eno milvado. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna go my way. Why? Because I believe in Hashem. That's it. That's all that matters. Right. So he says, what happens to such a person? Kama hu sachal. How foolish is such a person? Kama da'atav chalusha v'karto. How weak is his mind and his perception? Ki hu ro'eh ki mish nidmana lo b'nei adam al davar. Humans, how are we? What do we do? That when a person sees what a human being is entrusted by another person and you rely on him, שהוא מצווה אותו להשיג בצורך מצרכיו, ומזהיר אותו מדבר ויעבור מצוותיו ויגיד לממונו עבור מצוותו, כי יש סיבה חזקה להימנע מעשות מה שבטח עליו בו. The one entrusted with the matter, he instructs the person who entrusted him to tend to one of his needs, or he warns him to avoid a certain need, a certain thing he wants him to avoid, and he violates the instructions. What happens? It will be the strongest reason to withhold from him without you're allowed to do so. What happens? I tell you, I trust you with money. You work for me, right? I trust you with money. Here's the cashier. Here's the products. Make sure to sell. Make sure to count. Make sure that everything's okay. And make sure to watch out. Don't leave the product on the table. You always got to put your hands on it. God forbid it could be stolen, right? You got to make sure you have 10 eyes over here. So they're going to the cashier. He starts working. He leaves the product on the table and he goes to get something in the back. In 1 second, what happens? The stuff is gone. They steal the stuff. So now the boss comes and he says, I trusted you. I told you exactly what to do. You didn't listen to me. And now you want me to pay your salary. And now you want me to upgrade you. You want me to give you more. What is this? You're not doing what I asked you to do. What zuchud do you have that I should help you? It says Hashem, the same thing. Kol sheken, misha avar chokei elokim mitzvotav. How much more so a person who transgressed Hashem's laws and commandments. The guy who doesn't do what Hashem says. And he says, oh, but Hashem, I have trust in you. I have bitachon in you. And that's it. Therefore, you should do whatever my will is. No, Pirkei Avot says you have to bend your will to do Hashem's will. Only then Hashem will do your will. You don't say, "Oh, Hashem, I love you, but you gotta walk the walk. You can't just talk the talk. Imagine you come to your wife, to your kids, to your family. Oh, I love you guys. I love you. Okay, take us out. Okay." Take care of us, buy us what we need. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, I'm not in the mood. So you're just drucker. You don't really believe it. You don't really love us. You don't really care about us. It's all a show. So therefore, the same thing with Hashem. You could say, I love Hashem in my heart, and I believe in Hashem, and this and that. So why don't you do what He says? Why don't you do what He says? And now you want Him to do what you say? You want Him to do what you want? You can't be like that. שעד שיעד והעיד עליהם שתי תוחלת אבותיה עלה נכזבה כשמראהו. He says, and Hashem rewards the one who fulfills and who stays away from the averot and punishes the one who transgresses them, that the hope of the one who trusts in him will be disappointed if he rebels against him. He show even more chutzpah, says the Chovot Avot, is when a guy doesn't do Hashem's will, he rebels against Hashem, and then he says to Hashem, Hashem, why didn't you do what I asked you to? I davened to you, I asked you, why didn't you give me what I wanted? And Hashem says, are you serious? I asked you a simple thing and you didn't want, and now you're asking me why I didn't do what you asked. You didn't do what I asked. How could you say that? So since Hashem made it clear in advance, He will not be kind to the ones who violate His instructions. A sinner can, what does it help that a sinner has bitachon in order to get what he wants? It's not how it works. People think sometimes Judaism is Amazon. I give Hashem minha, I learn some Gemara, Hashem will give me a fashlema, Hashem will give me parnasat tova, and it's a business. And after it doesn't come through, the deal doesn't go through. Hashem, what happened? I did mitzvot, I prayed, I learned, why didn't you deliver? And Hashem says, yeah, but you took a little bit over here, you took a little bit over there. What, you think I didn't see? I saw you did Averah here, Averah there. What, do you think you deserve full price for this? You think I have to give you everything because of that? You did one or two things over there. You need to have full bitachon. I know your level. I know you could do more, and you still choose to be over here when you really could be over there. You don't think I see this? I see this. I know you could do better. You don't have full bitachon. Why are you not using your full bitachon? Why are you not really doing what I asked you to do? So therefore, a person has to be careful that just having bitachon does not go with being a sinful person. Lo yeh ra'ui leikare b'shem boteach b'Elokim. Someone who disobeys Hashem, you don't have bitachon in Hashem. It's a hypocrite. It's a hypocrite. People who say, I love Hashem in my heart, I'm very close to Hashem, it's a hypocrite. You're lying to yourself. How can you be close to Hashem if you don't do what He says? You don't do what He says. He says, you know what they call this? When you have a friend who always puts you down, who always hurts you, it's abuse. It's abuse. It's not a friend. It's a sick relationship, right? So imagine you're always hurting Hashem. When you break Shabbat, you're hurting Hashem. When you don't guard your mouth, say Lashon Hara, you're hurting Hashem. It means the relationship you have with Hashem, you're hurting it. You're hurting it. So how can you call, I'm a bitachon in Hashem, I have a close relationship, I'm very close to Hashem, I love Hashem. You don't love Hashem. You love Hashem in your own way. You have a relationship with Hashem how you want. And when a person doesn't do good for the other person, he just does good for himself, and whatever the consequences are, it's abuse. It's abuse. You're abusing a relationship with Hashem. You're doing, I take whatever I want, and you get the leftovers. You whatever I give you, spasiba skasha. Say thank you that I gave you, Hashem, something. Because I could have gave you nothing. So be thankful that I gave you something. Person has to be careful not to fall into that. If you really want to love Hashem, you have to act like it. You have to show it. You have to do it. Because doing, a person cannot think, oh, I'm having kavanot of putting tefillin, but he doesn't put tefillin. Right? He goes to the Kabbalah center, right? And he just thinks about meditation, about the secrets of the mitzvot and the deep meditation. But if you didn't do the maaseh, you didn't do the act of the mitzvah, you don't get sachar, you don't get reward. So the main thing is doing, not just saying, yeah, inside. Bring it out, do it, or else you're a hypocrite. Baruch Adonai.